Greetings to all movie lovers. In this video, we will analyze the plot of the hot novelty of 2023 called John Wick 4. In New York, John Wick is preparing to take revenge on the ruling clans, hiding underground with King Bowler. As his first mission, Wick returns to Morocco to meet face-to-face with the Elder, the only person above the board. The Elder told John that he was a murderer, and no matter how many times he told others that he wanted to leave, in fact, he knew that it was impossible. John killed the Elder and upset the delicate balance of things in the underworld, giving the sharks of the ocean a legitimate reason to go after him in full force. Because of this, the manager of the Continental Hotel, Winston Scott, and his concierge, Charon, are called to the Marquis Vincent de Gramont. Marquis Vincent de Gramont, one of the most influential members of the High Table, was in no mood to forgive anyone associated with John Wick. The members of the High Table granted the Marquis unlimited powers, and he had full control over all the resources that belonged to the syndicate. It was obvious that de Gramont simply wanted to kill Wick under the pretext of justice. The Marquis knew that Winston Scott was a shrewd man who always supported Wick and stood by him no matter what. To punish Winston, de Gramont removes him from his duties as manager, destroys the Continental, and kills Charon. He then travels to Paris and hires Kane, a blind, retired contract killer and an old friend of John's, to kill him. Kane swore allegiance to the High Table, and even blind, he was the one who had the opportunity to kill John Wick. Kane didn't want to kill his old buddy, but he wasn't given a say in the matter. The Marquis threatened him, saying that he would endanger his daughter's life if he did not agree to do what he was asked. Meanwhile, John takes refuge at the Osaka Continental Hotel, run by his friend Shimazu Koji. De Gramont's assassins, led by his right-hand man Chidi, arrive with Kane to kill John. In the next few moments, a deadly battle ensued in which the Osaka Defense Forces, with their Japanese samurai swords, came face-to-face with the Marquis's men. We soon find out that Kane didn't lose his grip, and he had his own ways and means to kill John. Akira, Koji's daughter and the hotel concierge, orders the evacuation of the hotel and joins her father, John, and the hotel staff in fighting the board assassins. Akira is injured while Koji tells John how to escape. Along the way, John fights off another wave of assassins, followed by Kane. They are interrupted by a tracker chasing John for a contract, nicknamed Mr. Nobody, but he lets John go, deciding that there is not enough money under the contract. Akira also escapes, but Koji is killed by Kane. John returns to New York and meets with a vengeful Winston at Charon's grave. Winston offers John to challenge de Gramont to a supreme duel, since victory will free him from his obligations to the board. According to tradition, John can only challenge to a duel on behalf of a criminal family. Given that he had previously severed his ties with Ruska Roma, John goes to their headquarters in Berlin to get a new coat of arms marking his membership in the syndicate. His adopted sister Katya agrees to do this in exchange for killing Killa, the head of the German senior table who killed her father. John finds and kills Killa in his nightclub. Katya then brands John's hand with the Ruska Roma coat of arms, which allows John to officially request a duel with de Gramont through Winston, who asks to restore New York Continental and him as a manager within his terms in case John wins. Further, the Marquis understands that there is no point in arguing about the legality of the proposal because John Wick did the impossible and made sure that he acted within the law. In Paris, John and de Gramont decide the parameters of their duel at a meeting moderated by the Harbinger, an emissary of the board. De Gramont knew he couldn't win the duel, so he assigned Kane to fight in his place. Now Kane was in a quandary because he knew that if he said no, the Marquis's men would kill his daughter, and if he said yes, then he would have to go against his friend, and one of them would have to die. The duel is to take place at dawn the next day at the Sacré-Cœur. The messenger informs John that both he and Winston will be executed if he does not appear on time. King Bowler arrives in Paris to give John a gun and a new ballistic suit. De Gramont tries to prevent John from coming to the duel by signing a contract for $40 million for his head. John fights off hordes of assassins on his way to Sacred Heart, including Mr. Nobody, but the latter stops hunting John after he saves Mr. Nobody's dog from killing Chidi. Kane helps John fight his way up the stairs leading to the Sacred Heart. Chidi almost kills John, but Mr. Nobody kills him first. John and Kane miraculously make it to the top in time to save Winston. The duel began, and Kane and John Wick seriously wounded each other in the first 2 rounds. In the 3rd round, Kane finally landed the death blow, and it seemed like he was able to get better than his friend. John collapsed to the floor, writhing in agony. When the Marquis saw John on the verge of death, he decided to personally release the last bullet. The Marquis was deceived by Kane and John Wick, who assumed he would do something similar. The Marquis engaged in a duel, taking Kane's pistol, and John knew that he could very well shoot him because the participants were given only 1 bullet at a time. The Marquis assumed that John's gun was empty, although in fact he did not fire in this round. As a result, John shoots and kills de Gramont. After John wins the duel, the messenger declares him free of debt to the board. John reflects on his marriage and asks Winston to take him home and bury him next to his wife. Then John dies peacefully due to the gunshot wounds inflicted on him. After Winston is reinstated as Continental's manager, he and the Pigeon King attend John's funeral, burying him next to his late wife Helen. Sometime later, Akira approaches Kane, seeking to avenge his father's death. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to the channel and wait for new cool videos.